We want to challenge. So,
representative of the ministers, our rector, special guest speaker, who is lead paper presenter, here present. It is my singular honor to welcome you all, my colleagues. Today, by virtue of the loud vision of our rector, supported by the chairman, we are hosting an erudite and versatile scholar in the person of Engineer ABDULLAHI DAJI, who has been a self-ordained crusader in trying to formulate and realign Albert Einstein's theory of relativity. And I believe I will invite this man to give us the national anthem. Director CST, Dr. Ebo Dawan, to introduce the
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I want to invite you to just take 1 minute to say a prayer for the Almighty God to guide us through these discussions today. Please, we are in prayers. May the Almighty God guide us through the interactions. The chairman of this occasion, Engineer Professor M.S. Haruna, the Executive Vice Chairman of NASENIC, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, the special guest of honor, the Honorable Minister of Education, and the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology, the guest of honor, His Excellency the Executive Governor of Kaduna State, the Royal Father of the Day, His Highness the Emir of Zadao, distinguished special guests, Chairman Kaduna Polytechnic Governing Council, our able and amiable rector, the rector of Kaduna Polytechnic, Professor Idris M. Bugaje, the invited speaker, management of Kaduna Polytechnic, the deans of schools and heads of departments, our distinguished students, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed my pleasure to be here this morning. I'm feeling highly honored to be invited to the podium to read the citation of an eminent scholar who has made a lot of impact in his chosen career and has earned himself the name and the mouth to make decisions in his chosen professional area. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I read the citation of Professor FAEng. Sir, may I crave your indulgence to invite Professor FAEng Obu Abo to please rise for recognition and remain standing as I read his citation. Mr. Chairman, sir, standing before this august occasion is a distinguished academic, an unassuming gentleman, a professor of applied geophysics, Professor FAEng Obu Abo. This astute academic and administrator was born on the 15th July 1960 to a humble family of the Abos in Bauchi in the then North Central State, although his parents hailed from Benue State. He started his primary education at the Sultan Bello Primary School here in Kaduna from 1966 to 1968, and completed that level of education at the All Saints Primary School, Makurdi, in 1973. The same year, he gained admission to Bristol Secondary School, Boko, in Benue State, and graduated in 1978 with Division 1 in his work. The young Abo later proceeded to the School of Basic Studies in ABDULLAHI in 1979 and later was offered admission to read BSc Physics. He completed that in 1984 at the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria. He later went back to the same ABU Zaria fault identification and repairs at Nigerian Television Authority, and that was in 1988. He participated in the technical education for Polytechnic project funded by the Overseas Development Association, which was sponsored by the MBT and the British Council. Mr. Chairman, sir, Professor Abo has worked in a number of institutions where he held various academic and administrative positions. Mr. The next 2 hours, reading the citation. I want to say, sir, Mr. Chairman, that on a final note, Professor Abo is a member of Nigerian Mining and Geosciences Society, Nigerian Association of Hydrogeologists, and Solar Energy Society of Nigeria. He has served for several years as the Secretary of the Cabinet chapter of the Nigerian Institute of Physics. He moved on to the
All protocols observed. Director CST, thank you so much for saying some few words, but plenty words about me. When I was asked to come and be the master of ceremony at this epoch-making event, number one, I said, well, this is a homecoming for me, because this is where I cut my teeth. They say cutting teeth. Oh, this is where I cut my teeth. In the academics, everybody in this hall, apart from students and some few people at the high table, are very, very familiar to me. I have told them to give me the names of the people at the high table. If I omit any name, it's not Professor Abo's fault. I know this event is a physics event. Something happened in 1990. I went to visit the Vice Chancellor of that at the turn of the 20th century, Nigeria was going to rule the world. That's all the computers in Canada and America were saying the same thing. And that what the computer was simply saying is that at the turn of this century, most and virtually all other countries would have gone to space, and it's only Nigeria that will be left behind to rule this world. You know, you didn't know where I was going. You started clapping initially. Well, that thing appears to be true or not true, I don't know. But today we have an engineer here, a physicist turned an engineer. He wants to tell us some things about the executive vice chairman of FNSE. Thank you, sir. Don't go away without seeing me, because our journal, something is in your table. Okay, the executive secretary of TED Fund is here in our midst and is going to represent the Honorable Minister of Education. Let's welcome Dr. ABDULLAHI. You are welcome, sir. You are welcome again, sir. As you see him like this, he's an ASU man. I'm sure you all know that one. And it is through his needs assessment intervention as chairman that you are having so many of these facilities that you're enjoying today. So let's give him another round of applause, please. We have in our midst, I'm not going to call these names in order of don't say this is more, superior to this. Is the way they brought it to me that I'm going to be calling them, please. In our midst, we have Dr. Yusuf Ahmed, the Director, Center for Energy Research and Training, ABDULLAHI. You are welcome. There's also Professor Balogun, Professor of Education from SAT, Electrodynamic, Professor of Electrodynamic from SAT Zaria. You are welcome. Okay, is that Professor Balogun? Your glass there allow me to see you very well. That's my friend. We have Professor Geoffrey Banimas, also the DG of NARIT in Zaria. Is he here? Oh, you are welcome, sir. He is representing the Federal Minister, the Minister of Science and Technology. You are welcome, sir. I know when you had NARIT, you know Professor Fugaje name came to your mind immediately, isn't it? Okay, that's him. We also have Engineer O.M. Labi representing the Director General of NALEST in Zaria. You are welcome, sir. We have Dr. Isa Musa. Is here. You are welcome. Is he here? Isa Musa. Okay. We have Engineer Dr. Jafaru Mahmoud, Acting Managing Director of Nason Solar Energy Limited. You are welcome, sir. We have these names here, Kaduna. Let's go back to the University. I'm talking of Alhaji Yusuf Hassan, MFR. You are welcome. You are most welcome. I will introduce the Director General Raw Material Research and Development Council. He is here represented by Dr. L.M.L. Buga, the Director of Chemical and Solid Minerals. You are welcome, sir. I can see so many personalities seated here. Their names are very important and powerful. Let me add that word powerful, because this polytechnic is a powerful polytechnic. It's not just the biggest, but we have a lot of power in this polytechnic. I'm told that even in the National Assembly, we have about 150 of our, ex-students there. That's why I say the most powerful rector also, the man that is very close to all of us. The first time I met him was several years ago when he was a staff here. Like some people, and it's M. Bugaji, the rector, Kaduna Polytechnic. Yeah, welcome, sir. I am beginning to see the effect of your rectorship when I came in to this school yesterday. The keynote address will be given by the ES State Fund, and very soon that will happen. But you know, if I introduce the rector and I don't introduce the man that the popular belief is that he's here to undo Einstein's theory or Einstein's law. That's what people are saying all over. I was in Lafayette by the weekend. I went with this booklet and somebody said, you mean somebody wants to undo this, the man that is like a god to physics? Well, you know, to introduce him will take us a lot of time, but let me just briefly call his name. Somebody will do justice to him later on. I'm talking of Engineer MUSA DAJI ABDULLAHI. You are welcome, sir. He's here in our midst. You are welcome, sir. His citation will be read later, so I won't go into that. It's a co-discussant at today's paper. You are welcome, sir. Former acting executive secretary of NBTE. I'm seeing some former rector. You are welcome, sir. I almost didn't see you initially. Engineer Dr. Danjuma Isa, you are most welcome. The Polytechnic is here. You are welcome. You are welcome. The Engineer Aminu Ali is here, acting rector. Former acting rector, please. Okay, you are welcome. You are welcome. There was a time when we had a seminar in this Polytechnic. I've done my bit. We are on item 8, which is the welcome address by the rector of Kaduna Polytechnic. Can we give him a round of applause as he gives us? You are welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. The chairman of the occasion, the chairman of the governing council, the representative of the Honorable Minister of Education and that of Science and Technology, the guest speaker, other distinguished personalities, our directors, our staff, and our dear students, ladies and gentlemen. We are very delighted and honored to have these distinguished members of the high table and distinguished scholars from across institutions across Nigeria to witness today's event. It's an attempt to challenge theories that have been around for over a century. And it's being done by an African, a Nigerian for that matter. We are very much honored to have Engineer MUSA DAJI ABDULLAHI. We are very much honored to have the ES of the MBTE. In fact, if the minister had come without the ES, we wouldn't have been so happy. And it's the ES himself who is here, so that he can go around and see the state of dilapidation in this polytechnic and the need for urgent intervention for us to bring it back. We are delighted to have all of you. Let me also use this opportunity to thank the LOC for organizing this major event with key professors and other scholars of physics. All of us were at one time students of physics. Myself personally, I have had a lot of interest in physics. It's unfortunate I ended up as a chemical engineer. I would just call it fate, Kadara. Otherwise, physics really was my best subject in secondary school. Physics was my best subject up to first year in the university. And let me blow my trumpet. I never scored anything lower than the highest score in physics. Now, so this lecture will be very good for me. Some of the theories that we learned in secondary school, I finished my secondary school in June 1975. We learned the Dalton theory, isn't it? We learned the Dalton theory of the few English. Most of the scholars of the Middle Ages up to the 19th, 20th century, when you read their profile, you see most of them were Germans. Very few Englishmen. The English were only good in colonization. So Dalton gave us this theory that the atom is the smallest and the indivisible part of matter. When we came to the SBS in 1975, across to 76, and when we entered university formally in 1976 up to 1977, Dr. MS Abubakar was 1 year ahead of me in the physics department. We were told about the theory of Niels Bohr, isn't it? Which really threw away the Dalton theory of the atom. And Rutherford later in the 20th century was able to break the atom into pieces. So all these theories, as we learned them, in my head I had a challenge. The challenge is that of the electron. We have been taught a lot about the electron. We were able to understand them, but there was one challenge that I couldn't swallow. The statement that the electron has a dual nature. Sometimes it behaves as a particle. Sometimes it behaves as a wave. We were told experiments were carried out. Electron was involved in a collision with other particles. And being velocity being a vector quantity, momentum being a vector quantity, the only way they could resolve the forces after the collision was by assigning mass to the electron. If mass is assigned to the electron, it becomes a particle, isn't it? Experiments were also done with electrons, and electrons were diffracted. Diffraction happens only in waves. Light can be diffracted, isn't it? Using the pinhole camera, you can even see it yourself in your own dark room. Electrons could also be diffracted. That was one issue which I couldn't resolve. If I had continued with my training in physics, maybe I would have resolved it. The matter was only resolved to me last December. I got the resolution of this trouble in my brain only last December. Not by a physicist, but by a metaphysicist. By a metaphysicist, a Sufi sheikh. I will tell you the small story. I always like traveling by road. So last December, after the stress of taking over this polytechnic in October, I just took 2 weeks off and I traveled across West Africa. I flew to Dakar and I took road transport to Banjul. I always like traveling by road across the entire continent of Africa, except Nigeria. If you remember in 1990, some of us in this Kaduna Polytechnic, we took car and traveled from Kaduna until Mecca. June 1990, late Isa Ikaro was there, Aminu Baba Hussein Obasri was there, myself, and one medical doctor from outside Kaduna Polytechnic. It was basically a Kaduna Polytechnic project. We crossed the Sahara by road. While I was doing my sabbatical in University of Johannesburg, 2004 to 2005, I attempted another road trip from Cape to Kano. You know, they have done the Cape to Cairo, isn't it? Many decades ago. Cape to Cairo connected North Africa, Central Africa, and Southern Africa.
But Africa is beyond that. So I propose to my colleagues over there, why don't we organize Cape to Kano? And coincidentally, Ibrahim Shekarau was the governor of Kano, the party was ANPP, and Ibrahim Rasool was the governor of Cape Town, and the party was ANC. So the names were rhyming, the parties were rhyming. What stopped us from making that road trip was the war in the Congo. The war in the Congo couldn't allow us easy access, otherwise we would have made it from Cape to Kano. Anyway, this is a long story. I always like to travel by road, so I traveled from Dakar to Banjul. And when I reached Banjul, I met a Sufi sheikh and I asked him, please tell me about the beginning of creation. Tell me the time when there was no space and when there was no time. Because this universe we are sitting on, this earth, the sun we are seeing, the sun is the closest star to us, isn't it? The next star closest after the sun is 3,000 times the size of the sun. The sun is 1 million times the volume of the earth. And the number of stars in the universe is like the number of suns in the desert. But there was a time when all these were absent. The space that we measure X, Y, Z was not there. The time that we measure on our clocks was not there. No time, no space. And I asked him, what was there? And he said there was only God. The Big Bang did not happen. Before the Big Bang, I'm talking about before the Big Bang. He said there was only God, and I said, what else besides God? He said there was only silence. And that reminded me of the statement of Jalaluddin Rumi, who lived in the 12th century, who said, silence is the language of God. Anything else is a poor translation. People don't know Jalaluddin Rumi, isn't it? How many people know Jalaluddin Rumi? He was born in 1207, and he died at the age of about 56. Ghazali came before him. Ghazali was born around 1058, and he died in the year 1111. So I asked him, and he told me this. Then I asked him again, what happened when matter and energy were created? And he gave me a statement which resolved my dilemma. The statement that came from him was, he said, what you call matter, he said, Idris, what you call matter is actually energy in slow motion. He said, it's energy in slow motion. And that resolved my problem. It resolved two things for me. It showed to me that physics and metaphysics will one day meet. We have always assumed that physics and metaphysics will never meet. And it resolved to me the problem of the electron, which means probably at different speeds, the electron behaves as a particle and sometimes as a wave. Sorry for taking you through my experience in physics, but I feel very motivated with physics. And I tell you, if I'm looking for an engineer and I don't find an electrical engineer, I don't find a mechanical engineer, if I find a physicist, I'll take him, because he's an engineer in all dimensions. By the time Kaduna Polytechnic becomes a university of technology, we shall have a strong faculty of science and a strong department of physics, and there shall be a professorial chair on theoretical physics. We shall go out and look for endowment for that chair, and we shall ask Engineer MUSA to kindly come and sit on that chair so that we can all go and learn. Thank you very much. We wish you successful deliberations. Sorry for taking your time, Mr. Chairman, and we appreciate our special guest here. Sorry, MC, for taking more than 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Yes, by the Executive Secretary of Third Fund. Sir, I hand over the mic to you. can be there.
The guest lecturer, invited scholars, students, a very good morning. Probably you observed that I recognize the chairman, the lecturers, scholars, and students only, because this occasion is for them. And I want to begin by offering two little corrections. While this is a maiden discourse, the Polytechnic is starting an excellent tradition. But let us set a good precedence. This day belongs to the guest lecturer. So the citation of no one should be read other than the citation of the guest lecturer, because it is his day. In subsequent lectures, this program should be very brief, should be short. There should be only introduction of the guest lecturer, the lecture, questions and comments, in the spirit of global best practice in liberal intellectual tradition. We should create more time to allow for the conversation between the scholar and the scholars, between the lecturer and the participant and audience, than spending more time on protocol. Intellectual tradition, if we are to engender best practice, the growth of knowledge, we have to allow for the interaction to be free, to be open, and to be long. When we contract the time meant for the lecture, we are automatically contracting the time meant for interaction, and we are automatically contracting the rate at which invention, discoveries, new things will be made. And we want to advance the frontiers of knowledge, and we can only do that if we allow that free flow of interaction and ideas between students and scholars. With these few corrections, let me also not take long time, because I would want us to have as long time as possible to listen to the lecture, and even longer time to discuss the lecture. I want to congratulate Kaduna Polytechnic community for commencing this excellent tradition and advancing the frontiers of knowledge. Challenging the theory of relativity is something that has been done by different scholars at different times, in different continents, different institutions, etc. Having one of us to be here challenging this theory is something that is worth listening, that is worth paying attention to, so that we can be able to sieve away the chaff from the grain. We'll be presenting a lecture that Minister Adamu will not travel to attend, but today is the day of Federal Executive Council. He cannot leave Federal Executive Council to travel to Kaduna, and that's why he asked me to come and represent him. He's sending his apology, and he's also sending a message that E is equals to MC squared is yet to be proved. And he believed that today, Engineer MUSA ABDULLAHI would prove that it is not provable. Today, Engineer MUSA ABDULLAHI will be able to prove that E is equals to MC squared is not provable. And also, we will be able perhaps, I don't want to preempt the lecture, I have not read it, we'll be able perhaps to hear also the other controversies surrounding the relationship of Albert Einstein with Mileva Mari, how some scholars are arguing that even the theory belongs to her. She is the author of the theory because he has given the entire money he has won of the Nobel Prize, $32,000 to Mileva Mari, his former wife, because she contributed to the development of the theory. Perhaps you are going to hear all these controversies about the authorship, the ownership, and the politics behind the entire concept. With these few words, while congratulating Engineer MUSA ABDULLAHI for this bold and courageous effort, I want, in the name of God and in the spirit of extending the frontiers of knowledge, declare this science and technology discourse open. Thank you very much.
I want to hand over the microphone to the chairman.
the representative of the Honorable Minister of Education, who happened to be the ES of Tetfon, the representative of Minister of Science and Technology, DG Narit, the Chairman, Governing Council of Kaduna Polytechnic, Alhaji Hassan Yusuf Yamenhar, Director, Kaduna Polytechnic, my rector, Professor Idris Bugaji, who ran away from us and returned to Kaduna Polytechnic from Science and Technology. My colleagues, Dr. Ibrahim Abdul Malik, the Managing Director of Hydraulic Equipment Development Institute, Kano, the Managing Director of Science Equipment Development Institute, Mina, Dr. Indaliman, the Acting Managing Director of Naseni Solar Research and Manufacturing Facility in Karachi, Dr. Jafar, the Project Manager, Solid Mineral Research and Development Institute, Nasarawa Engineer Danjuma Adamu, Management Board Members of Academic and Management Staff of Kaduna Polytechnic, the staff and students of Kaduna Polytechnics, distinguished guests, I am much honored, and I must thank Kaduna Polytechnic for generous approbation. As an obedient servant, obedient employee of Kaduna Polytechnic, I always consider invitations to functions of Kaduna Polytechnic as instruction to serve. It is indeed a great and unusual honor for me to say one or two things to this distinguished gathering. My director, my seniors in science and teaching, Professor Idris Bugaji, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it is both privilege to be here at this auspicious occasion of maiden edition of Science and Technology Discourse, and to be among distinguished audience, intellectual giants, innovation. An event which I believe will not only discuss basic research, it will not only discuss the findings of basic research, but application to development. And of course, what I'm interested most, commercialization of need-oriented inventions. Talking of diversification of revenue generation for Nigeria and for Kaduna Polytechnic, I believe I am on the same page with the rector of Kaduna Polytechnic. In the light of daunting challenges faced by science and technology activities in Nigeria, the country's enduring economic underdevelopment, recurring recessions, and related poverty and security issues, we should not underutilize brilliant minds like Engineer MUSA DAJI, but provide them with unlimited resources and enabling environment for optimal capacity utilization. This country is blessed with abundant human and material resources. Our professionals are among, if not the best, elsewhere. God has given us the best geographical location in the world. But we still, now yes, I assure you the chairman will be in control. we'll go straight to the business. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that well-researched speech. The Group General Manager, E&T, Division of NNPC, representing the GMB of NNPC. Welcome. We also have that in our midst, Madam Kande Bage, representing the Commissioner of Education and Head of Service, Kaduna State. Welcome. A royal father walked in. I'm sure you want to know him. He's the son and Zazo, Joaquin and Zentin Zazo, by name Alhaji Fadla Ludahatu. So you are welcome. You are most welcome. Let's go back to our program, and I'm sure like this. Well, I will read the citation, just something very brief. We have about 20 pages of the citation, but I won't read all that now. Because of our time, I'm going to take the abridged version, which is the one written on this booklet that you have. So you can even follow me as I read it. Standing before this, I don't want to say August occasion, but August occasion is Engineer MUSA D. ABDULLAHI. He's a certified teacher and registered engineer, fellow of the Nigerian Society of Engineers, and fellow of the Academy of Engineering. He held positions in the Nigerian Public Service from 1965. He retired in 2000, the year 2000 as Director of Engineering Services, Federal Ministry of Works and Housing, Lagos and Abuja. Engineer ABDULLAHI was conferred with National Honor, MFR, in 2005. He is now working as physics teacher and independent researcher on the theory of relativity, electromagnetic fields and waves, electrodynamics, and in the study of systems of writing. MUSA DAJI ABDULLAHI was born at Katsina, Nigeria in 1941. He attended Kayalua Elementary School, Katsina, from 1948 to 1952. Katsina Middle School, 1952 to 1954. He was at Barewa College, Zaria, between 1954 to 1959. He was at Technical College, Dundee, Scotland, between 1960 and 1961. He was at University of Manchester, England, between 1961 and 1965. And also at Ahmad Bello University, between 1967 and 1968. He obtained Bachelor of Science degree in Physics in 1965 from the University of Manchester, England, and Master of Science degree in Electronics and Telecommunications in 1968 from Ahmad Bello University, Zaria. Mr. Chairman, distinguished guests, thus standing before you, the man that all eyes are on, and learn this program is live on Twitter. I know people like Professor Animalu. We want to hear what's happening here today. I've already informed him. I know Professor, well, unfortunately we lost Professor Madwe Mezia just a month ago. I'm sure you know him, Professor Wele Madwe Mezia. Professor Legba told me he's very keen to listen to the talk today. It's been recorded. And you also, distinguished physicists and engineers that are seated. I will quickly now hand over the microphone to the chairman to transfer the mic to Engineer ABDULLAHI, and I know Dr. M.S. Abubakar, Professor Balogun, and other people are here to critique the presentation, and at the end of it, with what the rector of Kaduna Polytechnic just said, we are going to have a very good time of discourse. With this, can we give a round of applause again to Engineer ABDULLAHI?
Okay. Engineer MUSA ABDULLAHI, my own senior at the Academy of Engineering, the mic is for you. We are also patiently waiting for you. But let me say that the first time I came across MUSA ABDULLAHI was at the Institution of Electrical Engineers in UK. I wanted to do my research in wireless electricity. I had problem with some modeling. They say you are from Nigeria, go to Mina. There is someone that can offer help. At that time, no internet. I do go to post office to register mails to him, and he will reply them and send them back. Although the more he responds to my questions, the much more confused I became. So I abandoned the project. Carry on.
You can keep this one here, sir.
Maybe you may want to go here, sir.
What is the PowerPoint presentation?
Professor Zakari, ABU, HOD, you are welcome, sir. Can you just make that next? You are welcome. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. MC, President of the Nigerian Institute of Physics, a distinguished personality on his own right. Chairman of the occasion, Engineer Professor M.S. Haruna, it is wonderful to see you here. I wonder how you made it, because yesterday we were with you at Naseni, when the Naseni Technology Orientation Center was commissioned by the Honorable Minister of Science and Technology.